Now is a wonderful time, opportune time for the Delaware Historical Society to assess itself, and of course things are already underway, but lay the groundwork for the future of this organization. And it's just another opportune time at 150 years to really to do this serious assessment about what this organization means to this state, how its mission impacts the people of Delaware, and how we're going to sustain that mission in the future.
That's the Historical Society's Executive Director, Scott Layer. And he says a large part of the effort to sustain the organization's mission is focused on how it engages people at its Wilmington home base.
To make it approachable and to give people access to it. And what all that means, in short, is the new program, the Center for African American Heritage, which just opens up a world of possibilities here at the Historical Society, will grow the collection, will mean new programs, new approaches to presenting history. Additionally, upgraded classrooms, a new core exhibit on the history of Delaware, and bringing a gem back online. The historically and architecturally significant Old Town Hall will be reopened again to the public and will be part of the visitor experience here at the downtown campus of the Delaware Historical Society.
Layer has been interested in making more use of the Old Town Hall since he took over leadership of the Historical Society in 2011, and now he sees it regaining its rightful place of prominence.
I think it's really the centerpiece of this campus. It's a wonderful building. In 2016, 2 short years from now, we will celebrate the 100th anniversary of owning Old Town Hall, saving it from the wrecking ball. It was slated to be torn down. And again, we're bringing it back online, so it's very much part of the visitor experience, whether you're going in to see a rotating exhibit or to experience a lecture. Just by virtue of being in this building, it just heightens one's sense of history.
The new Center for African American Heritage is also expected to be a prominent piece of the revamped campus. The concept had been on the drawing board since the 1990s and was the subject of debate over who should develop and run it. It wasn't until 2012, though, that it started to move toward fruition when then Mayor James Baker earmarked $1 million to the Historical Society to establish the center. While some felt the project should have remained more firmly in African Americans' hands, Baker, a Historical Society board member, says the organization is doing it justice as it finally makes the concept a reality.
After 20 years, you almost feel like, is it ever going to happen, because you can't get people to agree. But I am perfectly happy. I like the idea that the Delaware Historical Society stepped up and said we will take this project on. I think they've done an excellent job in communicating with having the Advisory Council, African American Advisory Council, working with the Board of Trustees, working with the funders, working with the general community on trying to make this all happen. So these two projects that now are blending together will make this an institution that will be much more easier for people to have access to, broader education capability, and preserving African American history all in one felt swoop.
But the Historical Society won't be in complete hibernation while it renovates. It's also looking beyond its walls, launching a distance learning initiative that takes its collection and stories into classrooms and elsewhere virtually. Though finding the place to make that happen meant going inside the organization's collection literally.
How did you want to settle on this space to be the space that you use for
Pretty much just the only thing that was accessible. I was willing to do this in a closet if possible, but we were lucky enough to find a space in our collection that keeps things more safe for both the curator's peace of mind and education's peace of mind. So it just happened to work out perfectly that they don't really use what they once called the cage as much, so it was able to be converted into our distance learning studio.
So you tell the kids you're taking them inside the collection. They're literally going inside the collection.
Right, they're literally walking through history.
That's Allison Mitchell, the organization's curator of education, who's bringing the distance learning program online, starting with a handful of programs focusing on things like the American Revolution, the Civil War, the Underground Railroad, and Native Americans.
The reason we wanted to initiate distance learning here at the Delaware Historical Society was to highlight our collection into the school programs, which, because our facilities are closed and being renovated to become more accessible to the public, we wanted to make sure that the school groups didn't miss out on that exciting connection with the objects we have here in our collection. So the best way to do that, and for the safety of the object and the integrity of the program, is to do that through technology. My focus in my graduate school work was on technology, so definitely in more of a long-term goal was to integrate technology into the Delaware Historical Society educational programs. However, we found a great opportunity to start a little sooner than expected with the renovations to the buildings. We can turn the object if we want, again, show the scale with my fingers, or we can fully pick up the object and show that the name and the initials of the people that gifted this. So we really have an opportunity to work with the object in the round and really bring to life our collection with the students. Ultimately, what we hope to offer is a continued blended program for outreach, and then develop more of a purely distance learning form for a national audience, but more importantly, a wider audience in Delaware. We feel as though it is probably the best way to reach out to Sussex County by using technology, as opposed to trying to travel down there or have a school group travel up to the museum when it reopens to the public. I think that it's going to integrate mainly in the sense that people that aren't able to actually get to our destination, they have an opportunity to still experience the collection objects that we have. And if they ever find themselves in Wilmington, then hopefully the digital experience they have will enhance the actual experience they have. Further, we're constructing pre- and post lessons to introduce and conclude a museum visit to the Delaware History Museum, making it an opportunity for us as museum educators to really connect with the class prior to the 90 minutes we normally have with them, depending on the program that they choose.
And once that virtual experience is combined with the renovated Wilmington facilities 2 years from now, the hope is the Delaware Historical Society will enter a new era of connecting Delawareans to their roots.
It goes back to sort of the overarching theme of the campaign. It's access to and engagement with history, and means such as distance learning and more traditional approaches like an encounter with the real thing, coming to an exhibit. We will blend, we will match, we will do these things separately, whatever it takes to see that people do have that engagement with their history, with Delaware history. That's the bottom line. That's what we're all about at the Historical Society.